to what it means to tell stories.
We are looking for students who are excited and passionate about the stories that they want to tell.
It's an incredible place to grow your own identity as an art maker and be challenged by people who are doing the work and bringing expertise to the training.
The students have access to the knowledge of the inner workings of shows right now.
The culture surrounding Broadway is really changing, and the faculty that we have here is part of that cutting edge.
It's an opportunity for us to do a deeper dive into how it gets from the spark of creation to a Broadway stage.
The main thing that attracted me to the program was the focus on innovation that involved technology.
Learning about using LED walls to use sound.
The most cutting-edge performance and recording studio spaces.
The environment here has made it really fun to learn and given me a lot of confidence.
The best things are the collaborations.
I came here to be a well-rounded theater collaborator, and I was able to learn how to set up shows.
You're creating with a cohort that are diverse, that are ambitious, and that are really talented.
Students can have experience right outside their doorstep.
Being in such close proximity to Broadway, we have the industry professionals come and share with us what is happening in the industry right now.
What's so beautiful about theater is it's the industry of changing minds. It's the industry of changing hearts.
Things that challenge the way you see the world is why coming to Berklee NYC is one of the best choices I could have made.
The students that are going to come out of this program are at the forefront of the change in musical theater.
And they're going to leave with really incredible connections and relationships that will stick with them for the rest of their careers.
Being able to take your work out into the world and share it with everyone, this is the perfect place to do that.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for spending part of your Saturday afternoon with us and for your interest in the writing and design for musical theater. We're going to share a lot of information about the program with you today. We're also going to have some presentations by current students, and we'll be talking to some current students and faculty, as well as hopefully answering all of your questions and encouraging you to join us in this great artistic community. So the first thing we're going to do is start off with a presentation of a song that was written this semester in the program by Taylor Fagans and Jake Weinstein, and I'll let them set up the song for you.
Hello, I am Taylor Fagans. This is Jake Weinstein. We wrote this song called Sunset. The song came about as a part of an assignment where we had to write a song based off of ideas that we generated together as classmates, as pairs. And our song is about two lovers who have just gotten married and they're now on their honeymoon. This is the first night of their honeymoon, and they are lying on the beach. And as they lie on the beach, my character realizes that he is unsure of the choice that he's made to be in this marriage. And you get to see that internally, me internally process that, my character, while his partner is kind of sitting there and having his own external processing. And the partner is played by Brandon Follett.
Hi.
Yeah, all right. Colors painting the sky, coastline extending as far as the eye can see. As we lay here and I don't know why it's so hard just to be. Water laps at our feet, bubbles and sand grains running to meet our toes as I'm fighting so hard to speak the feelings I don't want to show. Something needs to change, everything is different. One day it's okay, and now I feel ambivalent. I always thought the day would come when our love would be permanent, but now I'm unsure. I don't know how to feel. I love you, but this isn't right anymore. Disconnected and a bit of regret as we silently lay on the shore.
Look at the
sunset. Yellow clouds floating by, coral echo the nerves that I try to veil. As lavender shadows the sky, my mind begins to derail. When I think ahead, the future is so obvious. A 5-acre homestead that makes my family envious. But when I picture you in bed, my future gets a bit ambiguous. Because I'm unsure. I can't trust how I feel. I love you, but it's not the same as before. I need to be honest, but I'm struggling to talk as we silently lay on the shore.
Look at
The sun setting on us. I'm stuck in this mindset of watching the sun setting on us. I just need to tell you that I didn't feel this way the whole time. When we got married, it was really all that I ever wanted, but we've grown in different directions, and I think we've lost connection, so I really have to tell you now. But how do I say I can't trust how I feel? I love you, but it's not the same as before. I need to be honest, but I'm struggling to talk as I silently lay on the shore, watching the sunset. Look at that sunset.
Sunset. Hey, we need to talk.
Thank you guys so much for that beautiful song and a lovely performance. And also the beautiful images on the LED wall behind them. Really great. So let's talk about who should be applying to the program. We are looking for passionate storytellers. So do you have a story that you really want to tell? Even if you're not sure exactly what that story is, if you are passionate about themes, ideas, causes, you are the perfect person for this program. Composers, lyricists, librettists, and songwriters are what we're looking for. And with all kinds of experience and background, you don't have to have written a musical before coming to this program. You just have to have the desire to tell stories with music and words. We are also looking for storytellers who are interested in pushing the boundaries of the form. We're not interested in necessarily having the same sounds that have been created before. We're not asking you to recreate what has already happened in the musical theater canon. We're asking you to bring in the ideas of how we can change, how we can push that boundary of this form. And then we're also looking for people who are looking to collaborate with others, whether it's with other writers or with designers or other people that are also telling stories and who are using all of this technology and thinking of different ways of creating and getting those stories out there. The most important thing I want you to know is that you don't have to have musical theater experience prior to applying or being a part of this program. It really is about the desire and that passion for storytelling. We have people with so many different backgrounds that are here right now. Some are self-taught, some are conservatory, but it really is the beauty of bringing all of these people together with different perspectives, different skills that makes this such an exciting place. So let's talk to some of our current students, So you get an idea of the kind of writers who are here right now. So we have here Brandon, who you've already seen, who did this beautiful performance. And Brandon, just talk a little bit, tell us what you were doing prior to applying.
Prior to applying, well, not much of anything out of the COVID of it all, but prior to applying, I was working as a actor-musician. I did cruise ships as well. I did a lot of piano bar stuff. And yeah, prior to applying, I really kind of fell into writing as like this creative need out of all of the COVID things. And
what made you decide that Berklee was the place for you?
It was just all of the things that it offered. I mean, just the amount of resources available was like the initial like, oh, that's really cool. And then the priorities, I think, are just in the right place, whereas other writing programs maybe aren't as focused on what you were just talking about with not recreating what's already been done and looking at the future of musical theater. That's just really exciting, and to be a part of that in this first year is really was a big draw for me as well. Yeah.
Great. Chase, tell us about your background. Were you writing musical theater before you came here?
Yeah, I originally started out as an actor, and then through that, I always continued to play piano and loved writing on the side. And one of my friends that I met while studying acting for a year, we actually did write a show together. And it was while we wrote that show, in my undergrad, I studied piano performance and started doing some music directing and some accompaniment for dance as well. So everything kind of lined up to this is where I needed to be.
How did you find Berklee NYC?
Ooh, well, it was really just perusing the web for programs that specialized in writing that dealt with musical theater. And then when I saw this was the first year that they were doing this program, and just reading into what the program had to offer, I was just beyond thrilled to have the opportunity to apply.
Yeah, you all are really, truly a part of this maiden voyage. So tell us, Taylor, what were you doing prior to coming to Berklee?
Yeah, prior to coming here, I was, stuck in my room. No, I'm just kidding. But I was working for a church and writing plays and songwriting on the side, actually. Yeah.
And how did you find this program?
I found this program because I was suggested the program by my roommate who got an email from Berklee NYC. She told me, hey, Taylor, I know you've been looking for a way to like innovate and, use music to change the world and change the industry. And I was like, yeah. And she said this program, like their big tagline is innovation. And I was like, oh, no way. So she actually showed me the program, and the second I saw innovation, I was like, I'm all in.
Great. Jake? Give us a little bit of what you were doing prior and why you decided to come here.
Sure. So I was focusing on performing as a musical theater performer and dancer, actor, singer. So I was doing a lot of that. I also had been writing and doing some stuff in the cabaret world in New York. And I knew I wanted to shift my focus from just performing to really honing in on my skills as a writer and composer and learning that whole side of the industry that I just wasn't as familiar with.
Yeah, and I feel like we have put 4 actors in front of everybody right now, and just want to stress that you don't have to be an actor previously to be a part of this program. Like I said, it's really kind of such a varied group of people. So somebody tell us like what has been a favorite moment so far in this first semester that we have had together. Yeah, if anybody has anything they want to share.
Yeah, definitely. I would say for me, my favorite moment was the open mic night during orientation of the program. Getting the chance to collaborate. I got to collaborate with Chase and Brandon and a few other of our classmates. And getting the chance to collaborate, we wrote a song just out of nowhere for the school. And that was one of my favorite moments, seeing every single person in our program put themselves out there and really like step out and show what they have. It really made it feel like a family, and it made this space, this school, like a safe space to be like, hey, this is what I can offer, this is what I love to do, and I want to do it with you. And everybody kind of had the same mindset, and so that was one of my favorite moments.
Yeah, and such an important feeling to have in a creative community where you're not afraid to put your work out in front of others, and you can trust that everyone will, not only give you good critique and feedback that is going to be helpful to you, but also they're in the same place, and so they understand what it feels like to be putting their stuff out there. Who else has something they can share? Jay?
Yeah, I have to say one of the coolest moments has been an assignment we had was to take one of our pieces we wrote in musical theater class and work with a producer in the songwriting and production cohort to reimagine that song almost as a radio edit. So we actually took Sunset that you just heard and got to work with several of the students in songwriting and production to reimagine that. And that was such a cool experience to take it from what we wrote just on the piano and then to hear it fully realized with beats and vocal pads. And we were learning so much about how you can take this initial idea and totally expand on it in new and exciting ways. So that was really, really cool.
Yeah, and that's another exciting thing about this place is that it's not just that you're collaborating with people within your own cohort, but you're also able to collaborate with people in the live experience design and in songwriting and production, which is a really beautiful way to continue to imagine how you want to tell your stories. That's really exciting. Thanks so much for talking about that. We're going to go back to talking a little bit more about what you will experience while you're here. So there are lots of things that you'll experience while you're here. You will be developing your skills in writing music, lyrics, and book. You will be developing your artistic voice and doing that through building this craft of writing songs for musical theater and also learning how to develop narratives. The important thing about developing your artistic voice was something that I was speaking about earlier, and that you are here to think about how you can change the form, and that we're not looking for those things that have been created already. We're not looking for people to create or become the next Sondheim and recreate what Sondheim sounds like. We really want people to be thinking more about what that music is inside of them, what those stories are inside of them, and develop that thing here. You're also going to be collaborating with writers and designers. Like the students were just talking about, you have the opportunity to work with others in creating your work and also seeking out collaborations. And what I really love is that those collaborations were happening even before we got into classes. As Taylor was saying, they collaborated during orientation. That song that Taylor created not only with other writers within writing and design, there were writers in songwriting and production. And this place definitely gives the sense of being able to experience that kind of collaboration throughout your time here. You're going to be telling stories with leading technology. You saw an example of the LED wall behind Taylor and Brandon while they were performing. That's just one of the things that is offered to you as far as the technology, and also the things with songwriting and production that are really exciting, and how you can see how all of that technology can help continue to tell your story. You're going to be learning about the business of the musical theater industry and the theater industry in general. We're going to be pulling back that curtain on the industry, and it's sometimes a really mysterious thing about how things are developed, how things get produced, how do you get your work done. And we go through a class called Business and Entrepreneurship, which really goes into the details about that, and also is going to give you the tools to learn to be proactive in your own career, and give you the tools to be able to get your work done so that you're not depending on others so much to be able to have your work produced and heard. So we're going to now go to another group of people over here. Hi, everybody. Hi. So we'll go down the line as we talk, but we have some faculty here as well as students. I'm going to first introduce Shakina. Shakina is one of our faculty members. Shakina teaches our devised theater and has also been a guest in our story and narrative class talking about writing from the self, which is really, we're going to hear a song that was a result from the assignment that you gave the students later on today. But let's start here with Ashley. And just again, I want to ask, like, what was your background, just so everybody can understand where they can fit into this program?
Yeah, again, my name is Ashley Hazard. I had my undergrad in musical theater, so I was more of a performer in shows and musicals, straight plays. But I also had a background in songwriting before that, before I explored musical theater. And so encountering this program was like a beautiful melding of the two worlds that I was really excited to explore and hadn't yet. So that was kind of the impetus to me getting involved or applying.
And how did you find Berklee NYC? How did you hear about it?
I was friends with one of the program directors on the other side, songwriting and production, Will Wells, and he was telling me about the program starting, and then he told me that there was a musical theater side, and I was like, wait a minute, that kind of perked me up immediately, and I was like, there aren't many programs for musical theater in general as on the grad master side. And then hearing that it was about songwriting and writing and design for musical theater already piqued my interest, so I was pretty much bought in from there.
Great. I'm going to skip over to Shio. Shio, talk about your background.
Sure.
Before coming here, and what was your decision, or what was the tipping point for you in deciding to come here?
Yeah, absolutely. So my background is mostly in classical piano, and my undergrad I studied ethnomusicology. And those two things have kind of led me in a sinuous path of many different directions. I got involved in music directing and musical theater, but I also do a singer-songwriter thing. I play a lot of guitar. I was also doing a lot of classical accompanying. And you know, pre-pandemic, I had my hands in many honeypots, so to speak. I wore many different hats. And the pandemic hit, and I just felt like I needed to narrow in on something. And the through line for all of these things that I did musically was always storytelling. So in classical music, it was always about, like, how do I bring out the story of this piece? In studying ethnomusicology, it was talking about, like, the stories of people and thinking about music as a cultural act. Obviously, in musical theater, there's so much about storytelling. So a friend of mine from my hometown applied to the program for songwriting and production, and he did early action and got in, and was so excited about it and was telling me about the program. And I was like, okay, songwriting, yeah, maybe, that sounds pretty cool, but I don't know if that really captures everything that I want to do. And then I was looking at the website and saw that there was writing and design for musical theater. And in the description saw that they were really wanting to bring in people who are excited about storytelling and excited about changing the industry and talking about social justice issues and how can we use this medium and music and storytelling to elevate important stories. And as soon as I read that description, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the perfect place for me. And I decided to apply.
Great. Jolie, what is your background and your experience?
Yeah,
coming here?
I'm not an actor, just FYI. I have a songwriting background. I'm self-taught piano, drums, ukulele, and grew up with a composer dad, but just in the house, music was always part of my life, and didn't necessarily realize I was pursuing the theater world until a few years ago, actually, and just went full into it. And then COVID happened, and I was, I've done some TV songwriting and things like that. But my friend actually, who knows Rona Siddiqui, told me about this program, and I had never considered going to grad school, but this program made me want to. And I thought, oh wow, I've never seen a program that marries the two worlds of technology and theater in one, and it's in New York City. So that was a huge selling point for me.
Great. Shakina, talk about, you coming into the program, your experience in working with the students, and specifically about your devised theater class too, which is an exciting class that people love.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that people love it. Yeah, so I'm Shakina. I have a pretty deep foundation in the development of new musical theater. I'm the founding artistic director of Musical Theater Factory, which is a theater company here in New York City that works with early career musical theater artists to develop new work. And but my academic background is actually in community studies and activism. So social justice work through storytelling has always been core to who I am. And during the years that I've been working at Musical Theater Factory, something that I've like often thought about and said out loud was like, we need a master's program in collaborative musical theater development, because all these other programs that exist, which there are a few, like you said, are all kind of siloed by discipline. That's not how the real world works. That's not how musicals get made. And so when I found out about this program being developed years ago, I was so excited and made sure that I could be part of those conversations from the very beginning as curriculum was being developed. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll probably like teach there one day. And then when you invited me to teach devised theater, I was like, absolutely, I want to be a part of this inaugural class. And what's so great is that devised theater is like, it's an elective class that students from both the writing and design for musical theater and the LED program both can choose to take. But it's like a creative laboratory where we use this beautiful black box theater as like a playground and an imagination gym. And we are learning about developing our personal ethic as creators, learning about sharing power as we collaborate, learning new tools for storytelling in writing and movement and design. And it's all kind of culminating into like, first there were like solo projects, solo projects, and then small group projects, and we're building toward a whole class production by the end of the semester.
So what has been one of the more exciting things that has happened, or a work that the students have done that has just kind of blown your mind? Because I know there have been several of those that you have experienced so far this semester.
Yeah, it's hard to pick one because every class feels like we uncover something really magical and accidental together because we're really just working with what we've got. I'm really excited right now because we're working on what I've explained to the students as our midterm that's going too long, which is we're doing devised pieces using verbatim theater, and the students have all done interviews and archival research and are building small group pieces. And I've just seen the beginning stages of those, so I'm just really excited for what the students are making and about to share, because it's the first time that we've been able to have like time to work on like a tech plan and not just making something in the room but actually doing something over a number of weeks. So I'm really excited to where we're building toward.
And they're creating songs within all of this. Song is part of each one of their presentations.
Yeah, song, score, book, video art, projection mapping, choreography. It's like all of it.
It's really exciting.
Yeah, it's cool.
Ashley, is there a particular thing that has that stands out to you so far in your experience here that has really confirmed for you that this was the right choice?
Yeah, I think kind of what Shakina was saying, the collaborations are such a integral part of this program, and every week we're paired with another individual from the program to songwrite a different themes, different a different story to tell. And so I think coming in with all different backgrounds and different specialties that we bring to the table have been really helpful in learning. We don't necessarily need to know everything, but if somebody can play piano really well and somebody can sing, or somebody has a different skill set, it all works together, and sort of bringing those to the table. And also the diverse cohort that we have has been really helpful in uncovering different stories that we want to tell and how we connect to each other.
That's great. How about for you, Jolie?
Yeah, I think, what Taylor was saying earlier, we've been together all the time for the last 3 months, and so it feels like a family at this point, and it feels, to piggyback off of what Ashley was saying, we all have very, very different backgrounds, and that is our strength, I think, because we can come together and create ideas that maybe individually we would never have thought of. I know for me, I've been pushed in great ways that have elevated my writing, and so much. So I think that's the beauty of this program too, just how many different backgrounds there are and how many people, how many creative people with different ideas there are as well.
Great. Shio, you want to add something to that?
There's so many things I could say about why this feels so right. I will say that I think a lot of times in music, in the industry, it can turn really competitive. And Berklee NYC is like the complete antithesis to that, where you have a room full of highly talented, extremely passionate people, and yet it's just completely supportive and community and, you know, like what you were saying, Jolie, like a family vibe, and it's absolutely wonderful. You asked about particular moments earlier that stick out, and I just wanted to share a couple of particular moments that that really stuck out to me. I will say that, like, in between things and in between classes, and you know, we'll be hanging out in the lobby, and the piano will be there, and people will start jamming, and we'll start singing. Those have been some of my favorite moments, definitely. And then I think Jolie touched on this as well, but the kind of diversity of skill sets and also the diversity of what's available to us in terms of curriculum has, I think, really expanded my just my own skill sets and my own capacity to think about music in different ways. I'm taking a hip-hop production class right now that's completely changing everything about how I think about music and how I create. So yeah, I think the variety and the diversity is one of the strengths here.
And I love that you mentioned that hip-hop class, because you all do have access to electives that are outside of this particular specialization that can really tap into other things and help you become better at what you're doing in this, you know, in telling these stories. So that's great. Thank you all so much. We're going to now turn and watch a video, another video, talking about the larger community of being here at Berklee NYC.
New York is what you dream about.
New York is late night television shows.
New York is vibrant.
It's the ultimate testing ground.
The epicenter.
New York is drive.
Ambition.
Electricity.
Skyscrapers. Theater.
New York is the arts.
New York is the music mecca of the world.
Berklee is the ultimate incubator.
Berklee is community.
Berklee is exciting.
Is energy.
Technology.
Cutting edge.
Berklee coming together with New York is going to be explosive.
Berklee in New York will be immersive.
Where it's all happening.
Where students can have experience right outside their doorstep.
Is going to be a game changer.
The Master of Arts in Creative Media and Technology at Berklee NYC will have 3 specializations. Live Experience Design, also known as LED.
Students in LED will get an amazing course in state-of-the-art video production, large LED wall installations, projection mapping, and multi-channel sound design for live events.
An integrated approach to songwriting and production.
Students in the songwriting and production specialization will be immersed in the technology of beat making and music production, and will be constantly collaborating with their peers, experiencing all of the roles of the contemporary writing room, including top lining and lyric writing.
Writing and design for musical theater.
Students will pursue an organic approach to storytelling, considering the look and feel of the worlds their characters inhabit, while taking an idea from inception to the stage. They'll also have the opportunity to record their songs in the same studios where Broadway cast albums are made.
Now is the time to reimagine your career.
When you're ready.
When you're ready.
Come join us.
That was written this semester by Ashley and her collaborator Aurora. And Ashley, why don't you set up the song for us?
Yeah, so for this week of songwriting, we were tasked with writing for a specific artist, a specific singer. And so kind of writing something in her style and cadence, but also something that she might have been passionate about. So we decided, since she had an interest in horror films, that we would explore the idea of her being dropped into a world where she is the bride of Frankenstein, and sort of the agency that she feels she does not have over her body before she's being reanimated and brought to life as his bride. So that's kind of where we start the song. Bandages and glue, bolts in my head too. I don't really feel great, mouth is off center, great job inventor. I can't even see straight, only one eye's blue, one's the wrong size too. My nose is a big screw, I am required, though not inspired, to take a vow, I do. And as I'm lying here waiting to be reanimated, I'm wondering why I was even created. My thoughts are pushed aside just to be a monster's bride. Batteries humming, can't stop what's coming. I wish I had more say, I can't dream greater, 'cause my creator has given me a way tied to a table. I am not able to move my mouth to plead, even if gory in my own story. Shouldn't I be the lead? As I'm lying here waiting to be reanimated, I'm thinking of my second life that's already faded. Why is it not enough I've died? Have to be a monster's bride. Can I make my choices mine and not marry Frankenstein? Could I grab that cyanide to not be a monster's bride?
Thank you, Ashley, for that. And also thank you, Chase, for playing the electric guitar. So let's talk about how you will learn these things that we've been discussing so far. So you're going to be in the room with faculty who are current industry professionals. Our faculty, they are working right now and bring a wealth of experience into the classroom. We're also bringing in guest artists who are shaping the future of theater, people who are winning awards, who are breaking rules, and really shaping how we are looking at pushing this form forward. Specifically, let's talk about the classes that you will be taking. So the first semester, you will have a story and narrative class, which is basically talking about how you put together these stories you want to tell. You also have a songwriting for musical theater, which specifically talks about the craft of writing songs that have the dramatic action in them that are a part of the storytelling. You'll also be learning about that business and entrepreneurship class that I discussed earlier, really digging into what it means to be an artist in the community, the nuts and bolts of it, and how you can navigate this industry. And also the devised theater class that Shakina discussed earlier, as well as some other electives in production and in video. So the second semester, you continue with a story and narrative class, but this time it'll really be focusing on the book writing and the putting together of the full-length musical that you will be writing. So your culminating experience at the end of this year will be a first draft of a full-length musical. You will also be doing a musical theater workshop where all the things that you're creating in that musical will be put in front of others, and you will get feedback for that, and you'll be able to workshop, rewrite, change, figure out what is clear, what is not clear, and really find the true story within your piece. You're also going to be doing a demo and arranging class, which is really exciting because, as many of you know, that in this industry, for you to be able to get people to pay attention, you will need to have recordings of your work. And so there's going to be a class that is specifically talking about how you create demos that represent your work in the best way and how you arrange for those. You'll also have an additional amount of electives that you can choose from that are part of production and video, in addition to an orchestration class, which is another piece of the storytelling, because orchestration can really help and tell things about character and tell things about action, and so you'll be learning about that as well. So the next thing we're going to go to is our last presentation, which is Patrick. And Patrick's going to sing a song for us that was actually a part of the class that we had with Shakina about writing from the self. So you want to talk a little bit about that, Patrick?
Yeah, this assignment was autobiographical music and writing stories that we find from our own lives, and also being able to tell a story, a full story within the arc of one song, so without any context needed. So without any context, this is Waiting. Bright fluorescent lights shine on your face as we sit lonely in a crowded room. But you can't make your eyes meet mine, and I can tell you're overthinking things again. A conversation seems to match the empty chatter as we speak circles round what's really there. 'Cause making jokes and making fun of one another makes it feel like we don't care. Just talk to me the way we used to. Can't you please just say what's on your mind? Baby, please, I know it hurts you, but we keep waiting till we think the moment's right. And waiting's just another way to say goodbye. You say a break to go upstate might clear our heads up nice. As if the cabs, the smoke, the sirens, and the late nights are what's driving us apart. I know it's not. And so do you. I walk you back up to the steps of your apartment like I've done about 1,000 times. Your kiss lingers on my lips just for a moment, but it doesn't feel like mine. Just talk to me the way we used to. Can't you please just say what's on your mind? Baby, please, I can't be the first to, 'cause it might kill me to admit the fault is mine. So we'll keep waiting. We made it through another night. Waiting's just another way to say goodbye. Waiting's just another way to say goodbye.
last point is, why should you apply? If you want to be at the forefront of the change in the industry, which we've been talking about a lot today from the students and also from things that I've been telling you, this is the place for you. If you want to be in the heart of the theater district and be able to take advantage of all of those resources, this is the place for you. If you're wanting to join an impressive community of artists, you've seen a few examples of that here. There are many more incredibly talented people that are here in this community, as well as others in the other specializations. If you're wanting to be a part of that, this is the place for you. And we really encourage you to apply. And I'd like to be able to talk a little bit about the application process, and maybe we can have some of the students here, and we'll be talking with Faye, one of our other faculty members as well, but maybe some of the students talk about that application and what it was like for you to fill that out, and maybe you have some suggestions for people as they're looking at that application. Hi, John.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, John. John, why don't you introduce yourself and just talk a little bit about your background real quick and how you got here, and then you can address that question.
Sure. I'm John. Before coming to Berklee NYC, I did a lot of music directing. I did some film music writing and writing musical theater and some singer-songwriter kind of stuff too.
Great, great. So do you have any advice for people as they're filling out the application?
Of course. I think my main piece of advice is, first of all, write, don't stop writing, but also don't wait for things to be perfect. I think that's something I went through with the application process, and I think that's something we all go through every week, is that you can't wait for things to be perfect. I think perfection invites paralysis. You know, it's never going to be perfect. Just get it done.
Great, that's great advice. Patrick, how about you?
Yeah, I think during the application process, I really didn't think that I had enough material. And part of it was that I didn't think that my material was perfect enough. It wasn't finished, really. But I didn't feel like I had enough. And by diving into things that I wanted to share, I realized that I had a lot more than I thought I did. Yeah. And I think that we all end up finding that even if you feel like you haven't written that much, you feel like maybe you haven't worked in the field before or long enough, there's always something that makes you special and something that you can share. And that's what we look for at the school, and what the faculty looks for is just who you are and what things do you want to be able to share with the world and with the collaborators here.
Great, that's great. Brandon?
Yeah, more or less the same feelings as both of you. I think the biggest thing for me was trying to figure out what they wanted from me. And I spent a lot of time being like, oh, well, maybe I'll use this thing that I did, but I don't know if that's relevant to what they're looking for. And I think at the end of the day, show yourself, not show the person you think that they're looking for. I think that that's probably the best advice I could give, because the second I just started looking at like the things that I would like to show, it became so much easier than the things that I think I should show. Yeah.
That's beautiful advice too, because we're really not looking for a specific thing. We're ready to see what is out there and be able to be excited by that. Faye, hi, welcome. So Faye is one of our faculty members. Faye teaches the design thinking class with Loudon and with Heidi, but also you do an ensemble called the Broadway Bangers. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so in Broadway Bangers, we sort of take our time and what I would love for the class to be, and what I think this program really is an opportunity. It's like a big sandbox in a way, and it's really a time to come and develop and learn and see what you're passionate about, what your voice is, and so to all of these amazing panelists' point, show yourself in the application process, because that's who we want. And in Broadway Bangers, we create a space to read old works, to read new works, to create new works. It's really, again, the sort of idea of a sandbox ensemble to play together.
That's great. Let's take a moment and see if we have any questions out there. We'd love to be able to answer any questions people might have. Do we have any? Arjun, Glenn? All right, great. So we're doing a good job giving people information. Terrific. So Faye, can you maybe speak to one of the things that has really excited you about this program from the beginning? Because you've been kind of a part of not only working with the writing and design students, but you've also been able to work with the other students in the specialization.
Yeah, the most exciting, you know, honestly, the thing about this program is that I think there were people who said, had I had to do it over again, what would I have wanted? And I think that's what we as faculty are all trying to create for our students, which is what we would have wanted. And this idea of focus on collaboration, as Shakina mentioned, the idea of focusing on who you are and finding your voice, the idea of creating space for you to really explore is all really exciting. For me, the word innovation is what says it all, because it's sort of this idea of coming from your own place and figuring out what we have now in the world to create something new. What is the next generation of musical theater going to sound like and look like and be like, and to sort of think outside the box of what that could be. That's what's so exciting about this program, and the opportunity to spend time with these amazing, talented students, watching them nurture and grow relationships with each other, knowing that this cohort, these are the people that you're going to be working with going forward throughout your career. That's really exciting.
Yeah, I think it's an important point, is that everybody that is in this place with you together, you are building these lifelong collaborators, which, you know, when you think about it, that's not always the case, but because you have an experience of working with people with so many different sets of skills, that this really is this wonderful environment for you to develop those collaborators. So, yeah, we have a question? Great.
Yeah, we've got one in from Rowan here. And by the way, folks, feel free when we're asking questions to unmute yourself as well if you'd like. And I'm happy to take them in the chat either way. But this one from Rowan says, I'd love to hear more about the performance opportunities in classes and otherwise, and how much of the text side we get to play with in the WDMT program.
Great, that's a great question. Well, the performance opportunities, maybe Brandon, let's...
Sure. I mean, you just saw us perform, and this is just an extra thing. This isn't even part of what we're doing. But it's kind of always encouraged to seek those opportunities and seek those collaborations. And there's currently, we do a Friday concert series that you can sign up for every single week. And sometimes you can sign up more than once and do a bunch of performing. So that's really fun, and that's kind of just a space to present your work that's extra as well. But yeah, and then in the classes, you know, you're always showing your materials, so there's always that opportunity to be performing your own material, performing somebody else's work. I actually did that at the last Friday concert. It was doing somebody else's song was that week's, and I got to do one of our classmates, Moya and Jenna Roseborough, wrote this song that I fell in love with. I was like, I'm putting it in my book. I need to do this. And I asked if I could perform it for that thing. And we got to kind of do a little bit of a rewrite and then present it. So yeah, it's a great opportunity. Any chance you get to perform here, there's a lot. There's a lot of that going on. And then as far as technology goes, yeah, I mean, again, it's a very similar, like you can just show up, and I think I was a little trepidatious knowing that there would be these writing assignments. Are they expecting me to do the traditional working out a finale, give me your 6-page whatever, and then piano, vocal, goodbye, which you can still do, but also I've produced things for class in the context of like write a hook song. It's like, okay, well, here's my R&B disco soul song that I made in Ableton, and that's like so encouraged and fine. So yeah, I think that there's definitely the space for that in a lot of these classes.
And I think, and also your ability to work closely with people who are more tech savvy, and really, I think all of you have been learning a lot from those people. And even just like doing this thing that we're doing today, there's been, I think, a lot of things that you all have picked up and learned as well. Yeah, does anybody have anything they want to add?
Yeah, I'll say a sort of recent thing is we've been figuring out and how the school year is going and figuring out what skill sets we're missing. certain students have been offering workshops teaching different skills. If you don't know how to use a particular DAW, if you want to figure out how to be a better record producer, if you want to learn how to use Sibelius, students have those skills and they're very, very happy to share. And so yeah, we have kind of just if you have time after class, people will be meeting up and they'll be sharing those skills, and it's just a fantastic way to learn from people who are also kind of figuring it out, or who have already figured it out and they want to share it with you.
Yeah.
Well, and so it's a nice little plug. I'm setting up a concert of my work for this upcoming Wednesday. I don't know if anyone's heard. And for that, so that tackles two things. First off, I have a performance of my own work, and I get to showcase that for my album release. But at the same time, I get to work with designers, and incredible designers who we get to figure out designs together. We get to figure out the tech. Linus, who's up there in the booth right now, doing some incredible work. You can't see him dancing, but he is. And so that's a kind of hands-on experience that I think you get here, especially where if you want something, you can create something. If you feel like there's something missing, we have the tools to do it and to make it. And if you're excited and passionate enough about it, you'll get it.
Yeah. Great.
We have a question about partners and internships and what that would look like.
Say the first part again of that, Glenn.
There's a question from Lilat asking about Berklee's partners for an internship.
Partners for internship. I know that we are constantly looking for people within the industry to find ways to partner with people. We're constantly trying to find ways to open those doors for people. I can't speak of anything specific right at the moment, but just know that there are people that are coming in and talking about the industry. We have guests here all the time, business and entrepreneurship, constantly bringing in people from the industry. And it really is kind of opening a door for you to be able to walk through and take advantage of getting to spend time with those people, getting to know those people. And usually they are so open to giving people who are just starting, these emerging artists, opportunities within the industry. Great. Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, we've got one from Elizabeth just now. Her question is, what does a daily schedule look like? When are classes offered? Also, is distance learning a possibility? Could some of the classes be taken online?
What we're doing right now here is we are doing in person. And it's really important. We have found that the creation of the work, the collaboration, and also just the energy that happens for us being in the same room with the work is really important. So, so as far as taking things online, we currently do not have that for this specific specialization. The typical day. Oh, I think you all should answer this question. Like what the typical day is like. I mean, every day is different here, right? Every day is different. John?
I like to think of this program, grad school as a whole, as an exercise in time management. I don't know about you guys, but I'm constantly working on my schedule, booking meetings, looking for the next performance opportunity. When is class? When's the train? You're busy all of the time. You're always working. You're always creating. You're always meeting with other people. It's all the time. It's constant.
Yeah, and for a kind of set schedule, we typically have classes mornings into afternoons. That fluctuates depending on whether you're taking an elective or depending on the class. But we have ensemble classes. We have workshops that happen in the afternoons. And then after about 5 o'clock, you have the day to work with your collaborators, to work on assignments that you want to get done, extracurricular things that you're just doing in your life that you want to bring people in. So class, class during the day, but you kind of work all throughout the day on different opportunities and get to work with different people. And it really is time management, but there's also, it's so much fun. And these are all the things that we're excited to be doing. So by the end of the day, you might be exhausted, but it's all from doing the things that you've wanted to do.
It's a good exhausted. That's the feeling.
And me personally, in my life, I would rather be busy and have projects that are like keeping me engaged than be bored. And you won't be bored, like for sure. And I also want to add, a lot of us have jobs too. Like there's that whole element of like, okay, do I actually have time to work? Yes, you can manage that, but it's part of that greater time management.
And I think you also have the ability to decide on just how immersed you are in some of those things by taking electives, by taking ensembles, that kind of thing. That will make your day maybe longer or make the work a little bit more intense. So there is not everybody has the same schedule, let's just say that. Everybody is really kind of curating their own schedule that's going to fit their needs. Great.
Julianne, can you hear me? This is Stephen here.
Hi, Stephen.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
You guys are doing a great job. I was just going to chime in a little bit about the internships because I know that's of importance to international students as well. While we're in our first year of classes here at Berklee NYC, of course, Berklee has been up and running for 75 years, and we have a lot of internship opportunities. We have an office of student services and a career center, which we're also having an extension of here at Berklee NYC. And this will really be the first year here at Berklee NYC, especially for the Writing and Design for Musical Theater program, where we are placing people into internships. But we have literally hundreds of internships going on every year. For both international students and domestic students. There's ample opportunity for OPT if people want to stay in the U.S. and do an internship. So we're setting those up right now, and this, like I said, this will be our first year working with industry folks here in New York specifically for this program. But I think there will be ample opportunities for internships.
Great. Thank you so much, Stephen.
Sure.
There's one more question. Yes, let's take one more question.
We had a question come in earlier from Rowan asking about guest speakers. It says, are there guest speakers outside of classes? And when do they come to the classes? And are only those classes students able to join? Or could others join to learn from the speaker if available?
Yes. I think the answer to that is yes to all of that. We have guests who are coming in to the classroom. We have guest artists. We just had Michael R. Jackson, who's the Pulitzer Prize winning writer of A Strange Loop, a fantastic musical, and we had him outside of class because that was his schedule. That was specific to our WDMT students. But we have guests that are coming up that some of them will be outside of class, some of them will be in class. We try to keep things within class, but sometimes the schedule of these artists, because they're so busy and because they are actually working in the industry, that we will maybe have something outside of class that is special. And it kind of depends on as far as whether other specializations can be asked to see that guest artist. Absolutely. And I think it's whatever feels relative to whatever your interests are and whatever specialization you're in. But we definitely are having guests that will be coming in that will be for all of the students, and then maybe some that are specific to just those that are doing writing and design for musical theater and live experience design. So yes, the answer to that question is yes. Great. Great. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking your time today to spend with us and learn more about the program. We're so excited that you're interested in finding out more about us. We really encourage you to apply to the program. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. There are various ways that you can do that. You can go to our website. You can reach out to me. You can find my email address on that website, and we are excited to read your applications and welcome you to our community. Thanks again so much, and thank you to all of these fantastic students and faculty who are a part of this today.